Welcome back. We are covering a new series, 20 key activities to guarantee successful employee onboarding. This is really critical if you're trying to retain talent and keep employees. I know we're in a tough job market right now, but in the good times, this is something you really want to get a handle on. Don't lose talent on day one. You never get a second chance to make a first impression, and that includes individuals as well as corporations. So we're going to jump right in. Number 20, provide a firm start date and time. Now, I know there's a lot of things that impact providing that information in terms of getting approvals from HR and leadership and procurement. There's all kinds of things that go on. But there are employees who are out there for two things, right? There are employees out there trying to make plans with their families in terms of making arrangements that personally that they need to account for in terms of you providing this information timely. And I think most people realize the importance of this. But the second reason that you want to do this is in a competitive job market, there's times when you're going to lose out on that potential hire that you had approvals for, but because you were delayed in giving them a firm start date, somebody else is going to come in and provide them an offer. Maybe it's close or a little bit higher in pay. Maybe it's just because it's a firm start date and time and they just can't pass it up. So I think everyone gets the importance of providing a firm start date and time. But again, if you can do everything you can to at least stay in communication with that employee in terms of, hey, here's what I'm working on. Don't want to forget about you. Communication is another imperative thing to help with this. And even if you don't have that start date and time, being proactive in your communication is something that's going to really help you as well in terms of mitigating that if you don't have that start date and time. So, it's also just, again, an opportunity for you to make that first impression, right? This is what this is all about. You making a positive first impression on new hires and new employees. Because again, when things get tough, they'll remember, the positive things on their first day and the first week and their onboarding experience. And I can tell you from my personal experience, as well as other people, I'm sure will tell you the same thing. If you have a rough onboarding experience, when things do get a little bit tough, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And the thought goes through your head of, this isn't the first time. This is how they generally operate, right? So do everything you can. And if you can help with this is one thing that I think will help you. Number 19, and again, we're covering number 20 and 19, and I will leave a playlist in the body of the description. And by the way, before we go on to number 19, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the alert button if you find that I'm providing any value to you at all. Before you get started, right, there's the hiring and the job description that's in the body of the, that goes out for on the job boards and to the recruiters and everything. But you need to do a good job in terms of providing a detailed job description as well as critical task, right? Because a lot of times those job board job descriptions don't allow you to cover everything, right? This is something that you should have at your fingertips as a hiring manager. All of your employees that report to you, what the job descriptions are. And also, a lot of times HR with the posts that they put up there, they'll have maybe alignments and titles that don't align with the actual titles that you're hiring for, as well as the job descriptions based on HR hiring. The bigger the corporation, the more canned things get, but that may not necessarily, translate through to what you are actually going to have that person do. And that should be something that is disclosed also during the interview time, right? So if you interview somebody and go over a job rec that isn't really, reconciled with what they'll actually be doing, and then they get in place and it's not anything what they're doing, there'll be some hard feelings potentially. So you need to make sure you communicate that at the job interview and during that whole process. And then secondly, the follow-up with that is giving them that detailed job description as well as critical tasks. And if you have critical tasks that are part of that, if it's a quarterly critical task or if it's a weekly critical task, put that in the job description as well. So again, all of this information is something that you can get out ahead of time. Even if you're working through a recruiter or working with that individual directly, you can send that out to them ahead of time so that they can get a running start in terms of understanding at least on this level of what the expectations will be for this. So that's going to do it for number 20 and number 19. Again, I'm going to leave a description to the playlist in the description below. And then also do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the alert button. And we will talk to you for number 18 and 17.